नमस्कार कुमार दादा, संदीप भाई, हेमंत भाई. कुमार दादा, आपण प्रार्थना म्हणाल का? आपण सुरू करू मग त्याच्यानंतर. इफ यू से द प्रेयर, और संदीप भाई जो जो कोई भी बोलना चाहे. कुमार दादा तुम्ही म्हणा, आत्ता म्हणा, नंतर संदीप शेवटची म्हणतो.
सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति।
नमस्कार. तो लास्ट टाइम वी वर discussing the second verse of the 15th chapter. We have done the first two verses. So let's do a very quick recap of these two verses. तो पहले श्लोक में भगवान कहते हैं, ऊर्ध्वमूलम अधशाखम अश्वत्थम प्राहुरव्ययम छंदांसि यस्य पर्णानि यस्तं वेदस वेदवेद. So the world appears to us upside down, or the nature of the world is to appear upside down. If you look at it scientifically, even though you see my face right side up, in your retina, the image is upside down. So, upside down image is what you are actually experiencing, and in your brain, you are reconstructing it or decoding it, and I appear to you as right side up. That's the scientific version of it. But the actual version is, although the world appears, it is constantly changing, and we think it is constant. We assume it is constant. We assume it to be real. Just the way you were just driving from Sambhajinagar to Nagpur today, if we look at the scene outside the car, it seems that the trees are moving back. Even though we are moving forward, it seems to us that the trees are moving back. In our experience, we think we are moving forward. We were once children, then we became teenagers, then we became adults, now we are older adults, and we think we are going to die someday. So it seems we have traveled in time. Whereas the truth is, time has traveled back in our awareness. Even the past couple of minutes we've been doing this contemplation, this experience of contemplation has traveled back in time. It doesn't exist right now, but I exist. Which means, even though time is moving back in my awareness, it appears to me that I am moving forward in time. So, this is how the world appears to us upside down. It doesn't appear to us the way it actually is. So, then the one who understands how this whole thing works, the one who understands the Vedic scriptures on which this whole understanding is based, if somebody has that understanding, then their life will be beautiful. If you look at it from another angle, Chandansi Yasya Parnani Yastam Vedasa Vedavid. So look at these trees behind me in this virtual background. Some of these trees are evergreens. So these evergreen trees will have greenery even in the winter. But we have a lot of deciduous trees in our neighborhood here. So those trees will lose their leaves. So in the winter, they will not look as beautiful as they look during the summer. Chandansi Yasya Parnani means if we consider the chanda or the mantras in our Vedas as the leaves and we adorn our life with those leaves, then our life tree will be very beautiful. If we can live in this manner, that will be great. Then he says, Adhascha urdhvam prasrutastasya shakha guna pravruddha vishaya pravala adhascha mulan yanusantatani karmanu bandhini manushaloke. So in this tree of samsara, the branches of the tree are growing up and down both. And this keeps growing because we keep doing karma. Karmanu bandhini manushaloke, we get entangled in this tree. We get enchanted by the things that are available in the world. To obtain those things, we undertake karma and we get stuck in the cycle of karma and karma phala, karma and karma phala. So that's how we get stuck in the karma bandhan. In the third and fourth verses, Bhagavan is going to tell us this is not the way it is. The world appears to be like this, but it is not like that at all. So let me share the screen. And of course, you don't need to see my WhatsApp messages. You need to see my Gita chapter. So Gita chapter says, न रूपमस्येह तथोपलभ्यते नान्तो न चादिर्न च सम्प्रतिष्ठा अश्वत्थमेनं सुविरूढमूलम् असङ्गशस्त्रेण दृढेन चित्वा ततः पदं तत्परिमार्गितव्यं यस्मिन् गता न निवर्तन्ति भूयः तम एव चाद्यं पुरुषं प्रपद्ये यत प्रवृत्ति प्रसृता पुराणी. What does this mean? This means, I'm just going to go through the translation directly rather than going through each word, word by word. It is true form, its true form, the true form of the world is not comprehended here, nor its end, nor its origin, nor even its existence. न रूपम अस्य इह. तो इसका रूप जो है वो जैसा है वैसा नहीं दिखाई दे रहा है, उसका कुछ रूप है ही नहीं. तथा उपलब्धते, उसका हम आकलन ठीक से नहीं कर रहे हैं. ना नान्तो न अंतः न च आदि ही, उसका ना अंत है ना आदि है. इट हैज नो एंड नो बिगिनिंग. न च संप्रतिष्ठा, सो इट हैज नो, संप्रतिष्ठा मीन्स इट डजंट एग्जिस्ट आइदर. सो इट हैज नो बिगिनिंग नो एंड एंड इट डजंट हैव एनी एग्जिस्टेंस. अभी इसको थोड़ा कॉन्टेम्पलेट करते हैं. लेट्स कॉन्टेम्पलेट दिस अ बिट. व्हाई डज इट नॉट एग्जिस्ट? If you think carefully, we can only live in the present moment. We cannot live in the past and we cannot live in the future. Past is everything before this particular moment, and future is after this particular moment, which is not yet here. If you look at the present moment is like an interface between the past and the future. And that interface is actually non-existent. If you look at the definition of a plane in geometry, plane, plane in geometry means what? It has got a length, it has got a breadth, but it doesn't have any thickness. It is imaginary. A plane in geometry is only in theory. In practicality, it does not exist. It cannot exist because what can have length and breadth but no thickness? Nothing. If it doesn't have any thickness, its thickness is zero, means it doesn't exist. But it is a useful concept for constructing the entire geometry. The same thing about the point. The point has no dimensions, but it is a point. Or if you look at the line has only length, but no breadth and no width. Where does this line exist? It doesn't. But this line has utility. You can use it. In the same way, this world doesn't really exist because see, we only can experience the present. We cannot experience the past, we cannot experience the future. And this present, since it is the interface between the past and the future, it really does not exist. It's very difficult to comprehend. फिर आप बोलेंगे कि ये दुनिया तो हमें दिखाई दे रही है, I'm seeing this whole world. This whole world appears to me because of my impressions, and the impressions last for a while. So just like in the movie theater, the movie will pass in about, I would say, less than 1/16th of a second. If you move a frame, that frame creates an impression on our eyes and it doesn't get erased in less than 1/16th of a second. Okay, so in less than 1/16th of a second, if another frame appears in front of our eyes, then we cannot really tell them apart. Therefore, if more than 16 frames move in front of our eyes, it appears to us that the whole thing is moving. This is scientifically proven, right? So this whole world is constantly changing, but because the memory of the previous moment is not erased from our consciousness, it appears to us that this whole world is continuous, whereas this world is not continuous. It is momentary, and that moment doesn't really exist. See, I remember the movie Golmaal, in which there was a song. गुलजार has written that song कि आने वाला पल जाने वाला है, हो सके तो इसमें जिंदगी बिता दो, पल जो ये जाने वाला है. This is only गद्य. So I should attempt. संदीप, ट्राई करोगे क्या? मेरे साथ गाओ. आने वाला पल जाने वाला है, हो सके तो इसमें जिंदगी बिता दो, पल जो ये जाने वाला है. हो. उसके बाद का जो अंतरा है ना संदीप, गाओगे क्या? एक बार वक्त से लम्हा मिला कहीं, वहां दास्तां मिली, लम्हा कहीं नहीं. है ना? सो एक बार वक्त से लम्हा मिला कहीं. सो ए मोमेंट met with time. Then what happened? वहां दास्तां मिली, the whole story appeared. But lamha kahin nahi. We could not catch the moment, but then we got the whole story. So this is the story of our life. Our entire life from birth until now is a story of all these moments. It seems to us, or it has seemed to us to be continuous. It is only a collection of moments. And since those moments are connected with each other, it has created the illusion of continuity. That's why narupam asya tathopalabhyate nanto na chadir na cha sampratishtha. अच्छा, अश्वत्थम एनम सुविरूढ़ मूलम असंग शस्त्रेण दृढ़ेन चित्वा. So what says, having cut down this firm rooted ashwatha with the strong axe of detachment, one should pray, I take refuge in that primal being from whom has streamed forth this eternal activity, and seek that goal from which they who have reached never return. ये अगर हमें समझ आ गया, if we understand the nature of the world, we will lose attachment to it. See, what it says is we have to cut this tree down with the axe of detachment. Asanga shastrena drudhena chitva. We want to cut this tree with a firm stroke on the roots. How will we do this? Can we even do this? Is it even possible to do this? Our attachment to this world is actually virtual. It's not real. When I say that this phone is mine, this mindness, ये जो ममता है, ये जो अटैचमेंट है, ये जो बंधन है, ये जो आसक्ति है, वो जा सकती है. हमारे गुरु जी कहते हैं आसक्ति क्या है, वो जो जो जा सकती है. सो आसक्ति इज वर्चुअल. इट्स ए मेंटल कॉन्सेप्ट. देर इज नो सच थिंग एज आसक्ति. क्योंकि क्या होता है, व्हेन वी गो टू स्लीप we lose our connection with the entire world, including the body. If we were really attached, would we even be able to sleep? Suppose if I had attachment to my house or my business or my family or the money I have in the bank, I won't be able to sleep at night. ऐसा हो सकता है. That is completely possible. So I'll take a pause here. And if you want to say something or if you want to express your opinion on what we have discussed, I think that will be great. The world does not appear to us the way it is. We have to get rid of it by striking at the root of it with the weapon of non attachment. But non attachment is virtual, or attachment itself is virtual. So, if attachment is virtual, how are you going to hit the root of the tree with the weapon of non attachment? It's purely by understanding. There is no such weapon because there is no such world. If there is no world, how are you going to destroy it? It's like mirror image. When we stand in front of the mirror, our reflection is going to appear in the mirror. As long as we keep appearing in front of the mirror, there is nothing we can do. So when we open our eyes, the world is going to appear. All we have to understand is this appearance is only that, an appearance. If we understand this clearly, then we will no longer be attached to it. Understanding is the key. So the weapon, asanga shastrena dhrudena chitva, asanga shastra is actually understanding, is my understanding. Kumar Dada, बताइए. You have to unmute yourself. तब हमें सुनाई देगा.
See, the world is an illusion. So this is what has been discussed up till now. And this illusion is itself an illusionary thing. Why? Because it is very difficult to convince oneself when you say that world is an illusion, but at the same time this world appears to you, and this world appears in such a way that there is no proof required to say that the world is or world is not. World is because all your senses, which are outwardly going and grasping whatever is available for grasping, and then passing on that information through to the brain, and the brain projects the image, and this image we see. How can we dismiss this image is a big challenge. So therefore, what happens is any amount of convincing that this is all an illusionary world will, is very difficult for a layman to really appreciate the whole concept, what is being explained. So there needs to be, like, for example, you told about when you are traveling in a car or a train, the world appears to be going behind and you appear to be going ahead, forward. You are actually physically going ahead. But the world is there itself. World is not going behind. World is stationary, but it appears. Similarly, this world appears to us in that manner. But then how, I mean, this point needs to be explained little more so that we have the absolutely clear understanding of the whole subject of this illusionary world. So I would like to know from
Okay,
you on this
that would
illusionary.
be great. I understood your question. The world appears to be very real. How can we imagine or how can we understand it to be illusory? In our waking experience, the world is very real. Just as in our dream, the dream is very real. While we are in the dream experience, the dream world is very real. It creates physiological changes in our body. If a tiger is chasing me, then I will be sweating and I will be, my palpitations will increase. So all of these things will happen. But when I wake up, then I understand that the tiger was imaginary or tiger was in the dream. Now, in the waking experience, the world and all the experiences of the world are very real. From the dream, we woke up by the blessings of or the grace of Prakriti itself. By nature, we woke up. Nature woke us up. And after waking up, we came to understand that it was a dream. From the waking experience, from the waking dream, I would say, this is also dream-like experience. So what happens is, I'm not going to say that the world is not real. The world appears to us the way it is not. That is the illusion. Because the world appears so real, we try to chase things in the world. Things in the world, in Sanskrit, they will be called Vishay. So our Indriya, our sense organs will chase the sense objects. That is the nature of the sense organs. The sense organs are going to be attracted towards the sense objects. That is how the world is going to move forward. The nature of world is to move forward, you know, in cause and effect, cause and effect, cause and effect. In another chapter, Bhagavan says, Prakrutair kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvashah ahankara vimodhatma kartaham iti manyate. So, all the processes in this world, in the phenomenal world, in our waking experience, they happen according to the laws of nature, according to the laws of Prakriti. But we, ahankara vimodhatma, we think we are the ones who are doing all these things. So we assume the doership, karta bhav, and we do things. Why do we do things? Because we want to obtain those things. Karmanubandhini manusya loke, we have just seen in the second verse, right? Because we get attracted towards the objects in the world, we try to obtain those, we enjoy those. This whole process of desiring, doing, obtaining, and enjoying. This we do because we assume that the world is real and the world is a means of enjoyment. We have mistakenly assumed the world to be a means of enjoyment. That is not what the world is like. The world is a school for us in which to learn our own true nature. So we have misunderstood the world as something real and something to be enjoyed and something that will give me everlasting joy or happiness, which is not true. So, this understanding that the world is a means of enjoyment is incorrect. So, as long as we don't mistake the world, then we'll be okay. I'm not saying that the world is unreal during the waking. During the waking, the world will, of course, appear real. So, if I'm hungry, I have to eat some real food so that I can be satiated. So, is my hunger unreal? Is eating food unreal? Is the satiation of hunger unreal? No, during the waking experience, all of these things are real. While we live in the waking experience, while we live in the world, our interaction with the world is governed by natural law as well as in the case of humans by dharma. What the pashu will do, what the animal will do, the animal will consider this world to be real and will do things the way the brain of that animal will work. But we have, supposedly, arguably, more advanced intellect. Are we really utilizing that intellect for realizing who we are? Or are we stuck in this world trying to obtain things in the world one after the other? This is the illusion. The illusion of the world is not that the world is not real. The illusion of the world is the world appears to us the way it is not. I tried to explain to you that the world is moving, the world is changing, and my awareness is constant. Therefore, it appears to us that we are moving forward in time. So I just gave you that as an example. The classic example is the rope and the snake. Our Guruji says that unless the rope and snake appear in your discourse, Advaita Vedanta cannot be complete. So there are so many jokes about the rope and the snake. Once a boy in Gurukul wanted to go home for his vacation, and he has heard there is no snake, there is only a rope, and he wants to tie down his hold all, his baggage to go home. So he picks up a snake and tries to tie his luggage with the snake. And the snake says, Arey Baba, I'm a snake, I'm not a rope. Don't tie your luggage with me. So that's another joke. The thing is, the world is divine. Ishavasyam idam sarvam. Yatkincha jagatyan jagat. Even the smallest thing in the world is pervaded by the divine. But we consider that to be something to be enjoyed. We cannot do that. Tena tyaktena bhunjita. Therefore, you have to renounce it. Then you will enjoy it. Otherwise, you cannot enjoy it. Magrudak kasya svidhanam. Whatever does not belong to us, how can we claim it is ours? We say that, I own this house, I own this, I own this car, I own this, cloth, I own this telephone, fancy phone. None of the material I'm utilizing right now has been created by me. Nothing. It has always been here. It is created by the divine. This whole world is created by the divine, but I consider this to be something I should enjoy. That is the misunderstanding. That is the illusion. If we understand the world the way it is, there is nothing wrong with utilizing the things in the world to the extent they are necessary. अपनी आवश्यकताओं को पूर्ण करना ये पाप नहीं है. Every animal does that. Not only does every animal do that, every animal has a right. सभी का हक है इस पृथ्वी के संसाधनों पर. But if we hoard, if we arrogate to ourselves more resources than we need, then we are depriving somebody else of their resources. No animal will consume or hoard more than necessary. Why does Homo sapiens do that? Because we have mistaken the resources in the world to be the means of security, which it is not. हमारे पास जो भी संसाधन होंगे, उन संसाधनों का अगर कोई आदि भौतिक आपत्ति आ जाती है, आदि दैविक आपत्ति आ जाती है, तो फिर क्या होगा? अगर भूकंप आ गया या फिर बाढ़ आ गई, if there is a flood, what will happen? So all of these resources we have collected with the assumption that these resources are going to give us security. It's only notional. I mean, yes, they will give us security for some time. Even our body, we think that if we maintain our body, we will be very secure. But how can we stop the destruction of the body? We cannot. So the illusion is we think that the world is real or the world is a means of enjoyment, the world is a means for security. Those are illusory, not the world itself. What you say is correct. I mean, Kumar Dada, I agree with you. Yes, when I tried to explain this earlier, or many times people say that, we don't really understand when you say that this world is illusory. The world is illusory in the sense I don't understand it the way it is. It has always been a rope, but I have mistaken it to be a snake. So the world is divine, but I have mistaken it to be a means of enjoyment. प्रकृति मेरी माँ है, लेकिन मैंने उसको अपनी भोग्या समझ रखा है. That is the illusion. इससे हमको बाहर आना है. So if we can come out of that, that will be very nice. Does that make more sense? Better? Slightly better?
Yes, I think this is a better way of
Interpretation.
doing things, and it makes rather things very pretty clear.
Much clearer. So let's see, इसके आगे ये जो explanation है, ये जो purport है, supposedly written by Vivekananda himself. So let us see what Vivekananda has to say. Commentary में देखते हैं. Let me read the whole commentary, then we'll discuss it. This tree of samsara is not seen by man in the form described in the first and second verses. Why? Attached to samsara, the ignorant do not see it as such. They do not see its beginning or end, or its present state of existence. They have not made any attempt to inquire into its real nature. They are immersed in the flood of samsara and do not really know what it is, how it has come, and what its nature is, etc. In darkness, the real nature of objects cannot be seen. Thus, people live in samsara and die in samsara without understanding its nature. This is Maya. Only a few awakened souls try to release themselves from this bondage, from its bondage, and among them, only a few are able to cut the bond and attain liberation. The idea is that the darkness of ignorance is such that man is not able to realize the slavery and bondage which samsara has imposed on him from time immemorial. So this tree of samsara is described as सुविरूढ़ मूलम. उसके मूल जो हैं वो सुविरूढ़ मतलब पक्के बैठे हुए हैं, with roots deeply and firmly fixed in the world. And it has spread its branches far and wide, even up to Brahmalok. But its firmness and strength need not frighten us. Provided the weapon is sufficiently sharp and powerful, any tree can be felled to the ground. The Lord shows us the weapon. The Lord shows the weapon with which this tree can be cut. It is the Asanga Shastram, non attachment to the world, and its sensual attractions and temptations is the axe which cuts the tree of samsara. In other words, it is dispassion or vairagya. What a wonderful weapon to smash the tree of samsara. But the axe should be sharp and strong. Lukewarm and fitful vairagya, manda vairagya is not enough. It should be blazing, burning, all consuming vairagya. How else can we cut this mighty tree? That is why the Lord uses the word drudhena as attribute to asanga shastra. This axe of dispassion cuts the very root of the tree, and there is no more delusion or bondage. It is like destroying the main wheel of a huge factory machine. When the main wheel is stopped, all the innumerable smaller wheels stop automatically. We need not stop every wheel. So, when the roots of the tree are cut, the branches, the birds, and all other things wither away of their own accord. This non attachment should be both external and internal. But the aim is yet to be realized. Vairagya eliminates the obstacles on the path of self realization. Having given up drushya, the objective world, the next step is to hold fast the drik, the seer. This is important. It is not enough to clear the debts. One should acquire property, and then only he will be safe. The rejection of the sense world is like clearing the debts. So, along with Vairagya, the seeker should possess jnana, knowledge of Paramatma. He should know that his real nature is Atma. Then his bliss is full and unhindered. That is why the Lord teaches that is then the Atma is to be searched. Parimargitavyam. After cutting the root of this samsara tree, then only we can go towards Paramatma. This is the highest state of a human being, highest state for a human being, because having once attained it, man doesn't return to the samsara again. Na nivartanti bhuya. Once you go there, don't come back. It is the law that man has to return to this world again and again, whatever world he goes to, by his good work until he realizes Paramatma. Unless he realizes the Paramatma, which is his own true self. That wise attain it and are forever at rest. तो जिसे ये समझ में आ गया है वो हमेशा शांत हो जाएगा. The path to take for this search for the highest truth is clearly stated here. The secret is revealed. Tamev chadyam purusham prapadde. Tam eva cha आद्यम पुरुषम प्रपद्ये. उसी को मेरा प्रणाम है. I take refuge in that Purusha alone. This is the spirit prompting the aspirant in his search for Paramatma. It is a deeply devotional attitude, a surrender unto the Lord in the search for Atma. To him who has pure devotion, Brahma Jnan is easily attained. So, this is the purport supposedly written by, it says in Vivekavani. So, I'm thinking that this whole thing has been written by Vivekananda. So, how nicely he is merging both Jnana and Bhakti, which is fascinating. It seems to me that if we have understanding of the nature of the world, if we really truly understand the nature of the world, we will realize the phenomenal world, the world of name and form, the world in waking experience, is governed by certain laws. This is definitely governed by certain laws. Those laws are intelligent and those laws are immutable. The laws of physics, the laws of chemistry, the laws of biochemistry, the laws of thermodynamics. All of these laws are immutable. That is why we were able to design technology, or we are able to design technology. This whole discussion is happening on Zoom and through internet and all that because the laws of electricity have been understood, the laws of telecommunications have been understood, the laws of material science have been understood. That's why we have been able to design this technology so that we can have this experience. The reason we are able to fly in the air on an aeroplane, the aeroplane is so heavy, but we were able to design that based on the laws of aerodynamics. We designed the geometry of the plane in such a way that the plane can take off when it is at a certain speed. Those laws are immutable. If those laws are not constant or steady, then the plane will crash every time. But it never crashes. In fact, air travel is the safest of all travel in the world because it has been made so safe. Because we have designed the technology based on natural law. If we realize that, this is what Patanjali Muni says, Ishvara Pranidhan. We will be surrendered to that Ishvara, with whose grace all these laws of nature are constantly in operation without any fail, without fail. So this we will understand. And to that, see, I happen to be a chemical engineer, environmental engineer. So I have studied nature, I have studied environmental laws. So I look at those laws with great reverence. For me, that is Ishvara. That is manifestation of Ishvara. So if I have understanding, this bhakti or surrender to this Ishvara will be automatic. On the other hand, someone who doesn't understand science, it doesn't matter. Only if that person has bhakti, true surrender in his mind, that person will eventually become knowledgeable. Knowledgeable about the nature of the world. And he will have no attachment to the world. So this attachment will be destroyed either through bhakti or through understanding. Either way is okay. So Vivekananda was a great advocate of integrating all different paths towards the same goal of self-realization. Because we all have to work, we must do some work. We should do karma yoga. Do that work unselfishly. We all are contemplative. So think jnana yoga. We all need to discipline our mind. So we should all do Yoga Abhyas, chapter 6, Patanjali Muni's Yoga Sutras. And we all, while we are in this body, when we are awake, feel very small. So be surrendered to a higher power that governs this whole universe. That is Paramatma. So bhakti, karma, jnana, yoga, all of those things can come together, integrate well with each other. We should use any and all of those means to achieve that goal. If we can stay in this awareness, would be great. So Kumar Dada, kuch कहना है और? Any other thoughts you have? Unmute, please.
Yeah, very beautifully explained with a lot of clarity as to actually your path is well defined in this manner, where you want to go and how to reach
Correct.
is. So a problem normally occurs is we don't know where we want to go, and that is
Understand.
why people go astray.
Right. So shall
And
we take the next verse also? That is a beautiful verse because that is going to tell us the sadhana. What should we do? If you have
सगळेच
some
गेले
time,
मला
because we have another 10 minutes, so we can do the sadhana. Can we do that or should we do it another time?
we'll do the next time.
Next time we'll do it. No problem. But good. So then, Abhi, Sandeep has left. So why don't you say the concluding prayer also, please?
डाऊन झाली होती ना त्यामुळे थोडं मला हे होत
I
आहे.
understand. No, no. Go ahead and you do the concluding prayer, please. Can you do that?
ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ओम शांति 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 हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम
Namaskar.